Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good day, wherever you are joining me from. I hope you find it in goodness. I hope you can hear me okay, and let me know in comments if you can hear me, one, and two, where you're joining me from. I am Carol C.C. Miller, your positive life strategist, peace activator, and global hugger, coming to you with another episode of Embrace Your Life Chats, where I am here Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays to help heighten celebrations and lessen sorrows through a positive focus. So that is a little bit quick thing about what we're going to be doing here today. Let me know also if you're new to my work and positive focus and these lives. I always enjoy welcoming in new people. But before we get started on today's topic, I also like to mention a couple things just so you know a little bit about where I'm coming from. And one is I'm not an absolutist. I'm not a big fan of the words always, never, right, wrong, good, bad. Things are a lot more complex than always or never, right, wrong, good, bad. And there's 7 billion people on this planet. I can't begin to say what is always right for 7 billion people. Hi, Stacey. Welcome, and welcome to the Embrace Your Life community as well. I see that you have joined us over there. And so when I talk about things like, you will hear me use the word always and possibly never, but I don't use them that much because, again, there's 7 billion people. I can't begin to say what's right for 7 billion people. So I work on a majority of the time scale, 0 being always negative, 100 being always positive. I don't know anybody at 0, and I don't know anybody at 100. I have been coaching, speaking, writing, teaching about positivity, kindness, love, compassion, and peace for many years now, and I am not always any of those things. So my personal practice and the work that I do with others is to be in the 80% of the time kinder, to be 80% positive, 80% loving, kind, compassionate, and peaceful. So fear visits me, frustration visits me, disappointment visits me, all those types of harder, heavier feelings visit me. But because of my daily practices and my tools, they visit, they don't move in. So that's just something to think about is if you're one of those people, and if you like always and never, go for it. It actually always does surprise me when people say that they are always kind. I am not always kind. Now, I am kind the majority of the time, and usually my unkindness is directed towards myself more than other people, or it's in my thoughts more than my words, because I personally am very word sensitive. So words are very powerful to me. So I don't tend to use unkind words or unkind actions. My unkindness might come in a thought that I'm not going to express because I don't want to give it that energy. But I'm not always kind, and it's usually aimed towards myself. So welcome, Najib. I hope I am saying that right. And the second thing I like to let people know is I'm a coach. I love supporting people in growing what their best life looks like. I am not a counselor, nor am I a therapist. And for some people, it doesn't matter who, needs that type of support to live their best life. I just believe that you're worthy of living your best life, whether it's getting a coach, me, somebody else, whether it's working with a counselor or a therapist or a clergy member or best friends. Get that support system around you to help you live your best life. Excuse me. Hello, watching from Dallas, Texas. Dallas, Texas, I'm sure you're warmer than us, but we have an unseasonably warm day here. It's almost 50 degrees in Chicago in February. That does not happen often. I believe tomorrow we're back having snow again, so it changes very quickly. Hi, Kim. Welcome. And I will come back into comments after I've gone over today's topic, because otherwise I'll get off track of what I wanted to talk about today. And today, lastly, if you're new, I like to pick a word and define that word, then come up with an affirmation around it. And it's just a statement affirming what we want in our life, or affirmations could be a statement of what we don't want too. My focus is on the positive side of things. So we create some affirmations to bring about what you do want rather than what you don't want. And then some tips about bringing this into a daily practice for you as well. So today's word is peace. And I have these cards that I pull every day for myself. Of course, I don't have them right here. And for 2 days in a row, I've gotten the word peace to come up. So I'm like, okay, probably a good idea to talk about peace, because I think we all want it. We want, they say, what do you want in the world? World peace. and we want peace in our own lives, and we want peace in the lives of our families. And yet we often focus on what is keeping us from peace more than focusing on what's bringing peace to us. So that's today's topic. If you have any questions about today's topic, put them in the comments, and I will come back in when I'm done with the discussion and address them. Or if you have other topics you would like me to bring a little bit more love, kindness, compassion, and peace to, those are my top values. And so that's what I'm thinking about when I'm making a decision on anything. Is it loving, kind, compassionate, peaceful? Is it going to bring me towards what I want in my life, or is it holding me back from what I want in my life? It's not a right or wrong. It's just asking myself those questions. So again, peace is the topic today, and the definition is, this is from Merriam-Webster, a state of tranquility or quiet. Now, when you think of that, a state of tranquility or quiet, that's pretty simple. So when you think about how a state of tranquility or quiet, if you're in a calm place, if you're in a tranquil place, a quiet place, then you're probably at peace. So it helps you define, by knowing what peace actually means, you'll be able to see when you are not there. Now, I'm not sure about the or quiet part for me, because I can be very peaceful. I'm going to a concert Thursday night. Andy Grammer, I love his music. I will be joyful. I will be happy and excited, but it will also bring me peace to hear his music. It will not be a quiet environment. So you can have peace even in a lot of sound. You can. It requires work. You can have peace even if chaos is surrounding you, because you've chosen how you want to show up in that moment. Doesn't mean it's easy. Doesn't mean it's not possible, but it is something to work for, or remove yourself from those situations if you can as well. So again, peace, a state of tranquility or quiet. I see some other people coming in, so I want to say hi really quick. Susanna, welcome from London. Robin and Kim, welcome, welcome. It's so good to have you here. From Columbia, Colorado, I'm assuming. I don't know. Welcome, or Columbia, I don't know, but welcome. So again, peace, a state of tranquility or quiet. The affirmation I came up with today, just in case you're not familiar with affirmations, it's purely a statement that you're saying. It could be something that you're affirming about yourself that you like, or affirming something you don't like. So an affirmation, a lot of people think of them as positive affirmations, and that's what I work with. But every time you say, I'm not very smart, I'm not very pretty, I'm not very whatever it is, you are affirming that to yourself. It's going into your little memory bank of every thought that you've heard, said to yourself, heard from other people. And so it's creating self-talk that is not going to bring you forward to what you want. It's not wrong. It's just going to hold you back, because you're focusing on what you don't want. You're focusing on what you don't like about yourself, what you don't want in yourself. So we focus on coming up with affirmations to bring you forward into living your best life. So it's really about saying them. It's about writing them down and thinking about them. And it's going to replace that negative self-talk. It is a practice. Can you pick up an affirmation in one day and immediately feel it and it becomes part of you? Possibly. I suspect the majority of us require it to become a daily practice. So today's affirmation regarding peace is, I choose peaceful thoughts, words, and actions, or I choose peace now, or I am peace. So come up with something for you to affirm, and you're going to want to use it, especially when frustration takes over, when disappointment, anger, loneliness, anything that takes you out of peace. When you have that affirmation to step back into, it's not necessarily going to shift it and take you out of feeling less than peaceful, but it's going to remind you that you can choose peace even in the hard times. And honestly, especially in the hard times, when things are going the way you want them to go, it's pretty easy to be in a peaceful state of mind then. So it's the practice is to be in a peaceful state of mind, regardless of what's going on around you. I am not a big Course in Miracles person. Only I like it. I just have not read the whole book. I've just read some of it. So it's not something that I'm really confident in talking about. But there is one of them that I really like. And it says, I'm in the room to, wait, you're in the room to heal the room. So if you're in a chaotic environment, maybe you leave because you can't, you're absorbing the chaos rather than staying in a state of peace. But maybe you stay in the room in a peaceful state, not yelling and telling everybody to be peaceful, but just be in peace yourself where your energy is emitting to other people. That takes practice because a lot of us, it's much easier to absorb your surroundings. If your surroundings are joyful, it's easy to absorb that joy that people are giving you. And if your surroundings are negative or chaotic, it's easy to go into that experience as well. So it's just about where you want to be and who you want to be in each moment. So the affirmation, I choose peaceful thoughts, words, and actions, or I choose peace, or I am peace. Now, if any one of those you immediately say, no, I don't. I've been thinking really chaotic thoughts just 2 moments ago. Then you would want to say, I'm in the process of choosing peaceful thoughts, words, and actions, or shift it up completely. You do not want to make an affirmation and then immediately say, no, it's not true. It could be a positive affirmation, but if you're immediately saying, no, it's not true, it's not positive for you. So you want it to be believable, but it can also be a stretch from where you are right now because you're growing into that life that you want to live, the life you want to feel like, how you want to express yourself in this big, beautiful, and messy world. So that's the affirmation for today, and some tips on choosing peace. One is through awareness. If you notice the definition, a state of tranquility or quiet. So when you become aware of how you feel, then you're aware of, I feel really peaceful right now. Or, nope, I'm feeling pretty frustrated right now. And so I'm not in peace when I'm in frustration. I'm not in peace when I'm angry. I'm not in peace when I'm sad. I'm not at peace when I'm scared. Anger, frustration, sad, fear. None of them are wrong. It's how much time do you want to spend in those places. So it's about being aware of, this doesn't feel good. How can I feel a little bit better, and taking a small step to feeling a little bit better. It's about the majority of time feeling peaceful rather than not. So if your scale is 0 of always not peaceful to 100 always peaceful, where are you on that scale today? If you're at 51%, you're the majority of the time today feeling peaceful. If you're at 30%, maybe something really hard is going on right now and it's hard to move forward. So be gentle with yourself, but do what you can to take steps forward to feeling a little bit better. It's not about if you're at 30% or if you're at 49%, you're a bad person or a wrong person. Not at all. It's just what you're feeling in this moment. And when you're aware of how you feel, then you can shift from there. When we're not aware of how we feel and we're not aware of what we're doing, then we're on autopilot and life is living us and we're not living life. So tip 1 is to be aware of how you feel. Tip 2 is, do you have whatever's taking you out of peace right now, can you change it? There are some things in our world that we don't have control over. We don't have control over the weather. We don't have control over global things. We don't have control over national things, or we don't have control maybe over what our boss decides to do, but we have control over how we want to move through it. So if you're stressed out and you're in chaos and you're in frustration and anger, but you don't have the ability to change it, then I would encourage you to let it go and move forward to something you can change. If you're frustrated and upset and worried and in chaos about something you do have the capacity to change, then ask yourself, what can I do right now? What small step can I do to start feeling more peaceful than chaotic? And just take those little steps, step by step by step by step. It's a daily practice is what works best for me, and I assume for a lot of people too. So then the next one is you're letting the world get you in its grips, and you're frustrated, you're angry or whatever, you are not at peace. Shift completely. Go out in nature, take a walk, get up and dance. Do something that's going to get you out of that stressful energy and allow you to come back into a place of peace. When we're in fear, frustration, anger, any of those things, excuse me, Again, doesn't mean they're wrong, but often, and again, this is often, not everyone, but often we're not focused on solutions. We're focusing on blame, shame, and complain when we're in that type of energy. So you want to shift it so you can get into, this doesn't feel good. What's my solution here? What can I do to feel a little bit better? What can I do to bring a little bit more peace to my own heart? What can I do to help bring a little bit more peace in the world or in my neighborhood or in my family? Whatever it is that has you out of peace, make sure it's something that you can control externally. And if you can't control externally, what can you do internally to be okay in that situation? The outside world, other people either enhance our lives or they detract from our lives, but we're the ones who make our lives. So think about that when you're getting really frustrated about someone else. What is it that you can do? Because darn it, we can't change other people unless they come to us and want change. You'd be amazed how many people have come to me in my years of coaching. You need to coach my girlfriend, my boyfriend, my boss or something to have them be more positive. It doesn't work. Like, I could tell people all day long and give them tips and tools on how to be more positive. And if they're not ready or wanting to do it, it's not going to change. So it's really about if it's something that you want to try. If where you are right now feels great, then there's no reason to try to shift and change that into a different way of being. You are perfectly great just as you are right now. These are just some tips to help you feel a little bit better. And then the next one, what was I trying to say? Oh, you cannot, something that helps me a lot is to remember, because I can easily get frustrated about different things that are going on in the world, injustice and harm and things like that. It's certainly something that weighs heavy on my heart. But I have to remind myself, I cannot be sick enough to make someone well. I cannot be poor enough to make somebody wealthy. I cannot be anything to make them better. So what I can do is, what I can do for me is to emulate what I would like for others and to do what I can to support other people that want that support, not telling them how they should be or demanding that they change and be different. But for me, first, it's to embody what I want in the world. I want a kinder world. I want a more loving world. I want a more compassionate and peaceful world. Those are my 4 top values. So I try to embody that the majority of the time. I promise you, I am not all of those 4 things 100% of the time, but I am at the majority because of my daily practices. So ask yourself, what is it that you can do, and not to take on the world's woes, because when we take on, some of them are so big that it immediately puts you into a state of disappointment, frustration, overwhelm, worry. But what can you do in your place in the world to make things a little bit better? You can share your smile. You can share a kind word. Maybe you volunteer for something. Maybe you donate money someplace. There's little things that you can do where you're at to make that difference. And one of the biggest ways to make the difference is to stay at peace yourself, because our energy is out there for people, whether or not you notice it. And I bet you do notice it when you go into a room and maybe nobody's even talking, but probably like maybe 15 minutes ago, there was an argument in there. So you go in and you can feel the frustration in that room. Or you go into a room where it's been a happy space. You feel that energy as well. So we are energetic beings. So your feelings are emitting out to people. Some people are more sensitive and can pick it up where others don't really pick it up, but it is out there. There's Dr. Jill Bolte Taylor says, I don't know that I have her quote exactly, but be mindful of the energy you bring to the room. And I always think about, do I want to make people happy when I'm walking in the room, or do I want to make them happy because I'm leaving the room? So that's something to think about too. And then lastly, I would say, well, 2 more things. One is to avoid trying to change other people. That can take us out of peace when we see somebody else we know struggling and wanting to make it better for them, or wanting to change, whether they're struggling in a way that we know we can help them, but if they're not ready for the help, it's probably not going to work. I would love to say that we could change other people because we know best, but we don't know what's best for other people. We may think we do. I certainly think I know what's best for a lot of people. And unless they're wanting my help and support as a coach, or as a friend, it's not going to be beneficial and probably make us all frustrated in that. So remember, when you're seeing somebody else and that's what's got you in a state of chaos and overwhelm, send them love. When we worry about people, it's a lower energy. When we're sending love, it's a higher energy. So just when you get into that worrying thing about somebody, just send them love. Keep going back to sending them love and seeing them work it out in the best possible way. By doing that, you may actually get them to come and say, hey, I really would like some support on this. Or they may not. Maybe they'll find support elsewhere. Maybe they're not ready to make any shift in their life, and that's okay as well. We're responsible for us, and that's the only thing that we can really work on. And showing up as the best person we can be is going to support others, and they're going to see how happy you are, and they may start asking you questions. What are you doing to have more peace in your life? And that's where the magic really happens, is when you can share your tips on how you're more peaceful because they're asking you rather than you telling them. Hope that makes sense, a little nuance difference. A lot of my coaching work is a nuance difference on shifting it just a little bit from what could be perceived as a negative into something that's more positive and bringing you forward into living your best life. And then the last thing is to be gentle with yourself. These are daily practices. There is a lot in this world right now that can take you out of peace. There may be a lot in your own personal life right now that can take you out of peace. I'm not asking you to be at peace 100% of the time. I don't know that it's possible. It's possible to be in the 80 to 90 to 95% of the time, but I don't know any human who is peaceful 100% of the time. Now, there's 7 billion people on the planet, so I certainly don't know everyone. So there could be some people who are truly like the monks who meditate and are quiet all day long. Perhaps they're peaceful 100% of the time. But I think the vast majority of us fluctuate. So I want you to be gentle with yourself when you catch yourself focused on what you don't want, and instead of focusing on what you do want, because when you catch yourself focusing on the don't wants, now you're aware, which allows you to shift into focusing on the do wants. Or now you're aware, you can say, I just need to vent about this for a moment, and give yourself a time frame of how long you're going to stay in that space and move forward to feeling a little bit better. So that's what I have for you today. Peace. Let me quickly go over the definition again. A state of tranquility or quiet. Our affirmation is I choose peaceful thoughts, words, and actions, or I choose peace. And that's when I use all three of these, honestly. But sometimes if I start getting frustrated, I'll just stop. I choose peace. I choose peace. I choose peace. I choose peace. And it brings me back to who I want to be. I want to be peaceful. I want to be compassionate. I want to be kind, and I want to be loving. So when I'm aware of when I step out of those, and again, I step out of those, I promise you I'm not compassionate, peaceful, loving, and kind 24/7. I am at the majority because that's the work I have chosen to do for myself. It is a choice, sometimes a moment by moment choice, but it's still a choice. So I choose peaceful thoughts, words, or actions. I choose peace. I am peace. Pay attention to how you feel. That will allow you to know if you're in a peaceful state or if you're in a chaotic state. By being aware, you get to decide, you know what? I'm so frustrated right now. I need to stay here for a bit. Or this doesn't feel good. I'm going to feel a little bit better. And just take small steps into feeling a little bit better. Gratitude is a great way to take those steps. I use thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Or I really like the word thank you in Japanese, which is arigato. So I will say that to shift my energy into what I want it to be. I will get up and take a walk. I will dance. I'm a big music person. I have happy playlists that I have on a lot to help keep me in that space as well. And to be gentle with yourself when you step out of that space. It is not wrong to be afraid. It is not wrong to be angry. It is not wrong to worry or be frustrated. It's just how much time do you want to spend there? So that is our chat for today. Let me come into comments here. And again, if I say your name wrong, I really apologize. And also, sometimes I don't see the comments until I go back later in the day. I don't know why. Every now and then they don't show up live, but I'm not intentionally ignoring you. So I will come back in later to look as well. Hi, Fidelia. Good to see you here from Nigeria. I love how we have people from all over the world in this community. It's amazing. A Facebook user, which means they're in my Embrace Your Life community. It's a free Facebook group. I just asked 2 questions to keep spammers out. I'm guessing that's Sylvia from London because Thomas, welcome. Have Lynn. This is the hardest thing, being kind and gentle with myself. Oh my goodness, Lynn. That is so true. We are usually our worst enemies. So when you think about when other people are being unkind, like ask yourself, what are you saying to yourself? And it starts within. And it's really our self-talk. I mean, our self-talk can be really harsh. As I said earlier, I'm my most unkind to myself. And I'm better at it, but I'm still, I would say, probably in my self-talk, I'm probably in the 60, 70 range the majority of the time. Because I will sometimes get off of these Facebook Lives and immediately say, why did you say that? Why didn't you say this? Or anything like that. Why did you cough? You know, there's so many different things that I'm negating about myself rather than saying you showed up today to support people in living their best life. So Lynn, it is a challenge and you are worthy of facing that challenge and working step by step on your own self-talk. I would really encourage you to come up with some affirmations. I am worthy. I'm in the process of feeling worthy. I am loved. I'm in the process of feeling loved. Something like that to keep you focused on you are enough just as you are. You do not need to change anything to be worthy. You can certainly want to enhance your life and do new things and learn new things, but just because you are here is inherently your worth. We can't change other people, only follow. Oh, sometimes I lose the comments here. Let's see. We can't change other people, only follow in their slipstream and clear up the mess. We don't have to clear up their mess. So I don't know if that applies to our parents and children. Now, our parents, like there's a different thing, obviously, if you have young children that you are still responsible for. But even that, we can only do what works for us. So when you're taking on that you're responsible for your parents or your children, know that emulating what you want in life is going to bring it about much easier than telling people and demanding people. I'm not talking about little kids where you really have to do some more assertiveness because they're going to get hurt if they do what they want to do. But we often take on this way that we have to be this way because maybe we've been taught this way, that we're responsible for others. But our responsibility is first with ourselves and then emulating it out and asking yourself, why do I feel responsible for this person? Does this person want me to be responsible for them? Or am I saying I'm in charge here? So just ask yourself things like that as well. And again, it's not a right or a wrong. It's how do you feel? How do you want to be? And how do you want to show up in the world? What's on your happy playlist, Stacia? Oh my goodness. I will share it. Let's see. Andy Grammer, big Andy Grammer fan. So excited to see him tomorrow. If you're not familiar with him, look him up. His music is very inspiring and happy. Like his new song is called Joy, I believe. So he's one. Michael Franti is another one that I have on. I mean, I have the song Happy, of course, is on my playlist. I will post it though, Stacia. Maybe I'll post it in the community rather than here. But I'll post it later because I was just working on it this morning, changing and adding a few new songs to it. So yes, I will share that, and you're very welcome, Lynn. Let me see. I can call. Oh, no, I'm not going to take up everybody's time on looking at my playlist. Stacey, I will post it in the group so you can see it. And I do not see any other questions here. Oh, that's why I avoid the news. It's one thing to be aware, totally another thing being alarmed. Absolutely. And that's a great thing too, because right or wrong, good or bad, the news and articles, like if you really look, often the articles are something to grab your attention, to get you to click on it. And we're not much of readers anymore. We tend to scan instead of read the whole article. But I personally have found a lot of the articles do not really match the headline. Like the headline is very enticing, and then the article itself is not very enticing. And so they want to alarm you to get you to click because they get paid by advertisements. It's not a right or wrong, it's just what it is. So you really want to be aware of what's going on in the world, but not from an alarmist standpoint. Because again, the majority of us, when we're in that alarmed state, we're not focusing on solutions. We're focusing on whose fault it is, why did they do this, and just complaining about it. Complaining, blaming, and shaming is not going to help bring more love, kindness, compassion, and peace to your life or to the world. Ask yourself, who do you want to be and how do you want to show up? When you're angry, that may be who you show up in that moment. But my guess is the majority of us don't want to show up as that person. I still get angry, but I don't want to be that person the majority of the time. So it's about who do I want to be the majority of the time? What kind of world do I want to live in the majority of the time? And then I work from that space. Okay, I don't see any other questions. I will come in. I've got a little net here. I will come in later and check. So if you have any topics you would like me to talk about to bring a little bit more love, kindness, compassion, and peace to it, please put it in comments and I will add it to the list. I know Amy has asked me about talking about fake people. I'm dealing with fake people. I'm still not quite sure what she means by that, but I will. I have not heard back from her on what her thoughts were on that, but maybe I'll talk about that. I will be here tomorrow. Don't know what the topic is yet, but I promise you it will be something to heighten celebrations and lessen sorrows through a positive focus. So go out there and have as much of a peaceful day as you can. Stay aware of how you feel, because when you're aware of it, then you can shift it or stay there. I'm not telling you to not be upset or to not be frustrated. I'm telling you to be aware of it so you can shift it if you're ready to move forward to feel a little bit better. So go out there and have a peaceful, loving, kind, and compassionate day. We will talk soon tomorrow, 11:30 Chicago time. Don't know topic yet unless somebody throws something in here. And from there, remember, you matter. You matter to me. You matter to the world. And most importantly, you matter to you. So take care and we'll talk soon. So long for now.